Live. All right, cool. Yes, here we go. Make sure everything's good. I think we're all live, actually. I think everything should be good.
Neat.
Don't you say neat.
Up right when you started.
Say what?
Discord messed up right when you said you started.
Mm-hmm. My internet quality is a little bad. It is working though. All right, so hey, we're here. Thank you. We're alive. Yeah, I don't care, man.
Okay. Well, I guess
Welcome
I'll
to
try.
show. Okay, all right. Welcome to ShovelWare Podcast. I am your host, Mr. Br Jones. Today we have Sid. Sid, hello, say hello.
He's not letting me leave.
Not at all. Yeah, I told you you're staying with us for the rest of your life. And for the first time on the reboot, I guess. Anyway, Necro, say hello.
Yeah. I missed the whole first part of that intro, but my headsets are working now. So hey, I'm here.
Oh, yeah. The only thing you need to know is Bobby keeps me down in the co-host basement with a big ball and chain to my ankle.
Mhm.
Okay, that makes sense. That's about what I expected.
Yeah, and
I mean,
I just
in
have
his
him editing.
defense,
All I
like
do.
that's
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
yeah. In Bobby's defense, like that's what I would have done if I was in his shoes. So,
That's all I do. That's all I do. So anyway, what's up, y'all? How's life? What's going on? What's good?
so oh god, for the first time, probably the only time, we're gonna start talking about video games, except for not really. Um, there's this game called Super Robot Wars, and it has its whatever numbereth entry on PS4, right?
Oh, I'm sorry.
And
Hold on. I've also forgot to mention. My bad. My bad, Sid. I'm also doing live gameplay. So yeah, if you see me looking off in the distance, it's not the fact I'm not paying attention. I'm just also playing live while simultaneously hosting a podcast because I can multitask barely. Anyway, my bad. Go ahead, Brandon.
oh no, you're good. So it has like a lot of different robots from a bunch of different anime, and I guess at some point they just said, planes are kind of like robots. So they added in the Bebop from Cowboy Bebop
Wait,
as a
what are you talking about again?
Super Robot Wars, Bobby.
What is
It's
Super
a
Robot? Like what? Like I have literally never heard of Super Robot Wars.
Ah, dang. I just explained it.
I'm
Yeah.
okay. I heard you explain it. I mean, okay, like where did this come from? Like what? Like give me some history on it. Like what is
Okay,
that?
so it's a series of I think console games, and they're like tactical games, and all the units and whatever are from like a bunch of different robot animes. Like you got Gundams and Evangelions, other robot shows. Don't know. Um, and I guess at some point they just said, planes are kind of like ships, right? So they just put the Bebop in there from Cowboy Bebop, and uh, like they all have their own special move with the anime opening playing from whatever whatever, right? And you're thinking, oh, Bebop doesn't really have a special move because that's just they're just regular guys. It's just a normal ship, right? Its special move is just the opening to Cowboy Bebop playing.
That's
Well,
it.
what does that do?
I don't know. Like it's just straight the fucking opening to Cowboy Bebop playing, like with the visuals and everything, except for one of the transitions you just see a number pop up for damage. And and that's great. Also, that live action Cowboy Bebop is gonna have John Woo as a Spike, so that's neat.
I didn't know that was a real thing.
It is, and it apparently will have John Woo as Spike, and they're still casting for Ed, I guess. So that's neat.
I mean, who do you think will play Ed?
Oh, I have no idea.
Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan's gonna play Ed.
I think he's a little too old to play Ed.
Let it. It's gonna happen.
Aquafina.
Okay, there we go.
They're gonna get Aquafina to play Ed. I want Aquafina for Ed.
Who the hell is Aquafina?
Oh, she's like a Brooklyn rapper who also like does acting.
I'm surprised you even know a rapper.
I only know that because she was really good in Ocean's 8 because they had like
I didn't see that movie yet.
Oh yeah, it was really good.
What was it? Oceans. It was Ocean 7 and then Ocean's 11, right? Or I forget what
Oh, it's that chick. Okay, I just had to go look her up.
Okay, I don't know.
Yeah.
You have to put rapper after it, or you get a water bottle. Just thought I.
A water bottle?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the brand of water
Aqua.
bottle.
Oh, okay, that makes a little bit more sense. I'm sorry. Without the context of thinking about the Aquafina water bottle, that was just kind of random. And just,
Oh yeah.
What's up, Ant? Or I'm sorry, I almost called you by your actual name. Do you care if I call you by your actual name? Or
I don't care about Ant too much.
Ants.
I can't stop myself. That's I can't start there. So I'm gonna call you Antonio.
You never called me that. You always called me Ant anyway.
That's not true.
Well, you've made him self-conscious of it.
I know.
Yeah, it's kind of like how I called him Bobbert for years, and he just didn't notice for like a long ass time.
Okay, see, no, you didn't Okay, you and Nigel also both call me Bobbert, but so like you're right. I didn't notice it, but at the same time, you didn't just say Bobbert. You said something weird. You didn't just say Bobbert.
Well, I mean, Bobbert is one of them. Like, really, what I should do is just make up a new one every day.
Oh, I used to do that.
Like Bobolini. I like that one.
I've been called that before. That's not
Bobolini?
Yeah.
Wow, great minds think alike.
That's not
Bo Baggins. That's how he's also been called. Bo Baggins.
Bo Baggins.
Yeah, Bo Baggins. Yeah.
Everything in order. Yeah. All right.
BDZ.
BDZ. BDZ. I like that one.
Okay,
All right.
So
anyway, go ahead, Anthony. I just said your name. I just said that. I'm sorry.
I know.
Go ahead.
What was I gonna say? We were talking about difficulty in video games before we wanted to hold it off to this, so I thought we'd bring it.
All right.
I've actually had some because we were talking about Sekiro and the Forbes magazine writing From Software needs to respect its players down in easy mode. And,
Oh God.
Funny enough, like you seem
weird.
to finally understand. Yeah, it is weird. But
Like,
you finally seem to get the idea that like the difficulty is part of the gameplay, because that's how Dark Souls was.
I kind of disagree. Like difficulty is an important part of game design, but I also think that carries the assumption that like all difficulty is made equal. When I kind of think that difficulty is relative.
Oh, I agree, and it's one reason why like you can see like I think Sekiro is a little bit different. Like I think Sekiro having an easy mode doesn't take away from it too much.
Wait, does it have the easy mode?
No.
Okay.
They wanted to add an easy mode, and it's a game that I don't mind it as much. Like the whole idea of adding easy mode to it, because it's not. It's yes, progressing a certain wall is the part that makes that game fun, I guess you can say. That means that you have to be like you have to be on such a higher level to even just enjoy the base game, which I think the game should accustom that game. So like the fact that they didn't make it means that I don't think they should. They shouldn't force themselves to make it. But having an easy mode
hold on.
in that game
Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second.
Right.
Discord is acting up again. Of course.
Oh, the dog.
Okay, go ahead. Say something else.
But
Something else.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate
The thing
that.
with Dark Souls is I don't think Dark Souls easy mode works the same way, because I explained to Bobby with the main thing that made Dark Souls so memorable is the fact that like not only is the game supposed to be hard, but it's in the lore. You're supposed to continuously die, and people are supposed to give up in the lore. Like I think the developers wanting the people who get frustrated to walk away from the game is kind of the lore that they set up in their world, and I always was intrigued by that. It was part of the reason it kept me around to even find out what the game was about. When I first played Demon Souls and then Dark Souls, it was like, wow, you can see the characters in the world giving up, and then you have your friends who are giving up, and it's like it didn't make me feel like, oh, they need to get better. It was like, no, you don't want to run your head into this wall, and that's fine.
Okay, I'm okay. I'm gonna be totally real with you for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I was ready to go into this conversation thinking, "Ooh, I'm gonna have to try so hard not to get really fucking mad," but That is a very good point. That someone that said, "Fuck it, I don't have 150 hours down the same spot, and I'm just not very good at video games. I would like an easy mode, so I don't feel dumb for burning $60 on this game."
And that's how I feel about Sekiro. Sekiro should be able to do that for its players because there's no lore reason to, like, yeah, the individual character, he's supposed to die, but that doesn't invest me in his plot. Like, I think Sekiro, the deaths only led up to one moment, and that's after you beat the guy that you were trying to the first real wall Bobby, and you talk to your master for the first time. He's like, "How many times have you died for me? Once, twice, or maybe more than you can count?" I'm like, "Yeah, the latter."
Definitely the latter. Definitely the latter.
That's the whole reason the game's hard. Is that one moment, lore-wise, is my master thinks I only died once or twice for him. Nah, I died about 200 times for you, and that was the whole purpose.
I don't really think that'll make it difficulty in the lore. I mean,
well, part of me also feels like the way you said it, to be pretty frank with you, is a fairly eloquent way of saying it that I don't think I've really seen expressed exactly that way before. Specifically in regards to gatekeeping, which is, that comes off as like a dirty word. Like, that's like me calling you a racist, a gatekeeper. But I also feel like I don't really see that argument going the opposite direction, where a game that should be easy, like Kingdom Hearts, that's just a game where you're going around with Donald Duck and Goofy fighting off, little monsters. There's no issue when a game like that kind of screams this should be easy, or like Kirby that screams this should be easy, has a harder difficulty mode. In fact, that's a good thing. So I'm not really sure like why that shouldn't really go the other way, where there are more than one, like there's more than one way to enjoy a video game. But also, that said, I also just want to acknowledge, because I wanted to say this like before I even said a word about anything else. The way the Forbes article stated it is single-handedly the dumbest possible way you could have ever stated anything.
Hold on, so I didn't read the article. I didn't even know this was a thing.
I didn't either. But Anthony read the headline that headline. They should respect the. I'm sorry, just read it again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring it up.
Okay.
Forbes.
Yes.
Well, hold on. So wait. So while Anthony looking for that, I want to go back and touch on something you just said. So like, sure. I don't disagree with anything what you say, but like you said, there's no point, or there's nothing wrong with having a simple game, right? So like, I'm trying to reiterate on your point, like games that's specifically designed around it, or at least have the theme around it that kind of fits it, like
Kirby Epic Yarn,
yeah, things like that. Like, that makes sense, right? But like in Kingdom Hearts, you're right. That game, it doesn't necessarily need the difficulty in it. I bring Kingdom Hearts specifically because I'm still disappointed in Kingdom Hearts 3. But it doesn't necessarily need it in terms of the lore-wise or in terms of atmosphere-wise. It doesn't necessarily need to feel difficult, but it had that difficulty there since the first game. Like, even though Critical Mode came in the final mix, Proud Mode was still difficult just to play through the game. And Kingdom Hearts 3 specifically, like, they just kind of took that away just to make it more appealing. And that's usually my problem with games when it comes to difficulty, where like it was once there and it taken away just to be simplified or whatever. That's usually I had the same problem with Mass Effect. I don't like Mass Effect 2 just because Anthony, you remember me talking about this a while ago. Yeah. But like, I don't like Mass Effect 2. My excuse then, or my reason then, was because it was less of an RPG, and that still stands. But it's not difficult. Like, you're just so overpowered, and you can just do so much and just move so fast.
The hardest difficulty. The hardest difficulty is pretty ridiculous.
I didn't play it on the hardest difficulty, so
it's pretty ridiculous.
Okay. Okay.
But, yeah. Oh, sorry to cut you off.
No, I'm basically done there. That's just my point there. It's just when it was once there in the predecessor of the game, and in the sequel they take it out, that's when I have a problem.
Yeah, that's fair, because like, regardless of how you feel about difficulty, I think we can all agree that if Dark Souls 2 had an easy mode and Dark Souls 3 just didn't, that it would feel off, even if you think Dark Souls just shouldn't have it to begin with. It would feel weird.
Yeah.
And that's the other like. Well, you made a very good point with why you feel affected by Kingdom Hearts, but that was a person like that is a individual one that you're able to pull out. But he was stating the fact about having an easy mode, like easy games like Kirby. Kirby doesn't have a difficulty level.
Yeah, it
It's
does.
made easy. No, like it's
Does it?
you start
Yeah, like most Kirby's do
some
have
of them.
harder difficulty modes.
After you beat the game. I do know there are some Kirby's that after you beat the game, but you never get to start off choosing your difficulty.
Okay, well, touche. I mean, I think, to my understanding, and this isn't me trying to backtrack on it, like a lot of them do have like a cheat code or something to just jump straight to the harder difficulty, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, but the main problem I have with those games, and it's any game that gives a difficulty, like even Halo. Halo gave you 4 difficulty levels, and it's why are there so many like.
Are you just bringing up the donkey video, bro?
A little bit, but I just thought because he actually laid that one down.
He does make a very he makes a very good argument.
Donkey video.
It's a very he makes it like he explains it in a very good way and explains why like the different like having different difficulties in certain games is just fucking like not fucking retarded, but just like pointless. Like what's the point?
You made a game a certain way, and then you made an easier or a harder version of that game with modifying numbers, but that's not, you didn't make that game like that. Like Super Mario, like the older games were both easy and difficult depending on options you chose. The options they built the game and then made difficulty inherent in the gameplay. And Dark Souls, they try to do that except way harder. And I agree that they should be more normalized versions where it's a Mario Odyssey or something like now.
I don't think that like there needs to be like how I feel is like our video games are art, so it's expression. So and you express your way in the way you want to express yourself. So make the game the way you want to make it. Now, if you make it difficulty, like I used to have a problem with, you know this. I used to have a problem with Dark Souls, but then I learned the game. Like I played the game the way the game wanted me to play it. I went into their world. And I actually started to appreciate it in a different way. I started to see the game the way you actually talk about it, how like it's a depressing atmosphere, and like that depression, and like beating that depression of the atmosphere is also kind of like plays a part in the enjoyment of the game. And I started to see that.
Yeah, you can actually cheese your way through Dark Souls. That's my whole point. Is you have options to make that game easy.
Yeah.
So just a thought here. As someone who has objectively said, this is too difficult, I don't have time to do this. I think there's a certain element of, and Anthony, this is not me trying to throw you under the bus or anything like that. There's a certain element, especially in the Souls community, where there's this feeling of, but this honestly goes for gamers in general, but there's an objective and quantifiable objective most fun you could draw out of this game. This is the way you have to play it. I have scientifically proven if you play it in a different way, you're not going to enjoy it as much. Therefore, we should only do it the way that I like it, which is the difficult way.
I mean,
that is a vibe that I get a lot when, like, I mean, and of course, let me just be very clear. If From doesn't want to make a video easy mode, whatever. Like, I'm not saying, every game has to have one. It's a state mandate because, I think it's true that, games are kind of designed a certain way, and messing with the difficulty kind of does throw off that balance. But I also think that's not necessarily a bad thing, because I kind of come from the mindset that video games are on some level forever. So if you go in and play that Dark Souls game or whatever on easy mode, then you may not have like gotten all the fun lessons that you probably should have from that game. Or, for Kingdom Hearts, if you play it on easy mode, you're almost certainly not going to have to explore any of the fun mechanics that are there for you. But that is more people, enjoying a fun video game. And of course, I do think that, if you play the game as intended, maybe there should be some type of more reward for you. Like, I don't know, like a little hat that you put on your Dark Souls guy. But I do feel there is a certain amount of gatekeeping that says, no, this thing is only for me because I'm playing it in the objectively the most fun way, when, like Bobby said, games are art. Like, they're not exclusively about their difficulty. Like, I could spend as someone who constantly says, "Ooh, let's try this new Soulsborne game." Oh, fuck that! I can't do that. Like 20 minutes in, I constantly go, "Ooh, give me the art book. Give me more of that lore. I would love to experience more of this game, but that difficulty is a reason that I'm not going to give it more of my money," which is also a thing that I kind of thought about. That hey, if you just say fuck it, if you want to play the game wrong, you play the game wrong. If you'll actually buy it, like what I'm interested in, and sorry if I'm rambling a little bit, what if easy mode? And this is the kind of thing for gaming that could get very evil very quickly. What if, fuck it, we'll give you easy mode, give us $2 more.
Oh, yeah. No, see,
I don't like that idea. Like I would prefer any game, like studio period, to just include easy mode rather than just have you pay for easy mode. That's the slippery slope that just doesn't need to be like.
You're right. I was foolishly living in the world of like, well, it does cost money to make an easy mode, huh?
I mean, no, see,
no, I hear what you're saying, but
but like, we live in the real world where fucking like Konami will charge you $10 for a save slot. So
yeah, exactly. So that's kind of that's what I'm getting at. But go ahead, Ant.
But yeah, I wrote down the 2 notes. So like, the things that you're saying aren't anywhere near incorrect. The main argument that people use for yours that is undisputably correct is, what about disability?
That's another one.
A person lost their arm, a person's lost sight, they've lost something. They can now not experience your game, and it sucks. And the easiest way to avoid that is or at least to give them a small boost, is a god mode. Easy mode, make it easier.
But is that a develop? I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing that.
If you want the story, this is all we can offer you.
But like, is that the developers? Is that their concern? Is it like, is that?
No, you are
do
correct.
They need to work? Do they need to worry about that?
Why does me not taking any damage? It's a very easy thing to switch in the computer.
I mean, that's just debug mode. They should already have that, in there. Yeah.
So I just give that to you, so you can experience the story, because you, as a person who's already spent $60 on my game, wants to be able to experience the bare minimum of the story, because you've already spent $60.
But I hear you. But like, is that the developer's responsibility to have to even worry about that person?
No, but
I think we can all sort of agree that, like, if the developer thinks that X is inappropriate for their game, like, of course they can just not put that in. But it's not a question of, like, should they be state mandated to do this? But, is it a good idea? Will more people buy this video game? Because I'm not disabled, but I would.
But the question, Bobby, is
I have a problem with it. Don't get me wrong.
I'm saying, like, for that argument, is your question is it their responsibility? I've never said it was their responsibility. I just said, why? Why don't they? And the answer is, should we? No. I'm just asking.
I mean, it was usually resources and time and like that. I mean, okay. For example, here's the example for that argument. Bungie, they did it with Destiny. They just put a colorblind mode in for like people who play Destiny, and they did that after the game had come out. They didn't need to do it at all. They just did it for the people who have like colorblindness, for the disabled, and so for them to enjoy their game more. They didn't need to do it, but it included a whole new category of gamers. There's nothing wrong with that, but let's see. The Witcher has never done that. But that's still a good game, and CD Projekt Red is still a good developer.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, don't a lot of game systems just have a colorblind visual setting? Like in the Switch, there's just like an invert mode for people that are just straight colorblind.
I didn't actually know a lot of people do it, but I know that when Bungie did it, was a big deal, and I know it wasn't originally there. So
no, all those things are good, but it's the argument to why haven't they? Like, if they can just answer, we don't want to because we don't want those people to play our games, is all they have to say.
Yeah.
We want to play. Now, this is the argument. We want to play. We want to give you our money. We're asking for a button that makes us invincible so we can get the story. And they go, no. But why? Just can you tell me why? And they don't. And that's the problem with that.
Like, honestly, I'm getting the feeling it comes down to, even though it's not a lot of work, it is more than zero work. Which again, I don't think that's a good excuse, but I think that is what they commonly sort of go to.
Well, it's they want to, and this is the other half of the argument, because I want to give up that is an answer that they don't give for that easy mode. I just make you unable to die, and you can experience the story that you spent $60 on. That's all. You don't get to enjoy the gameplay as any other element other than story, and that's still too much. Because those disability people want the story, but we'll avoid that. But the difficulty for art, like Dark Souls, the reason I don't like the idea of an easy mode, not a God mode, is go ahead.
Well, I just want to is it even a game at that point? Like
but that's
at that point,
I've already spent $60. That's the whole thing. Is now it's not a game anymore. I spent $60 for a form of art, and that's the storytelling you want to tell me.
I mean, but
you are correct. You are correct. It's barely a game. But if it's art, it should be able to be experienced by anybody. If I go into a movie theater,
not necessarily, because think like,
no,
but
like, don't have to enjoy it.
Well, no, hear me out. Okay, hear me out.
Okay.
So like, Beethoven made music, but some people are born deaf. That doesn't mean like
they
that
can
like
still experience the vibration.
I mean, okay, now you're getting real technical. Like some people are born blind, but
actually,
not everyone.
Bobby, I think that sort of goes back to what I was saying before, in that there's no like quantifiable like phonometers that you can by playing the game exactly this way in the way that I do it. That's the most objectively best way to do it. Well, that's not true. Like there are a lot of different aspects to art that other people enjoy. Like some people might think those vibrations are really cool. Or like, could you imagine a world where I don't give a fuck about Final Fantasy 15. I just want to look at all this shit.
Yeah,
like,
but
does that seem like a
okay? Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like, all right, that's cool. Like, I hear what you're saying, right? You still want to enjoy. There's video games out there that I just don't want to fucking play myself. I don't like. Okay, Dark Souls was the actual was that series for me for a long time. I just didn't want to play it, but I thought the world itself, the atmosphere was kind of cool. But in those cases, I never felt that FromSoft had the obligation to like make a theater mode for me. I just went to YouTube and watched cutscenes and had people and then watched explanations and shit like that. I still got a part of the community and didn't feel like I didn't feel like I was like excluded from the community or whatever.
But
I still understood.
Give the money to the developer.
Yeah.
I mean that's still fine. But like,
we said we can give you this money if you can do a thing that takes a quarter of a second, and you go, we don't want to ruin the experience for our other people.
Yeah, and also
aren't going to use that. That's the whole argument.
I definitely feel like it's worth noting that like my easy mode does not detract from your regular or hard mode, because
I'm not saying
you don't have to play that.
I'm not saying that. Like, I'm not arguing like for that. I know that to be the case.
I know where you are, Bobby. I'm just saying. I'm trying to tell you the points of the argument.
Mm-hmm.
You're making solid, but it's a straw man. It's saying
why not do that?
Yeah. So it's not that you are incorrect. That isn't an answer to the question.
Actually,
why don't they? Because, wait, real quick, because I haven't gotten to this.
Sorry,
the other note I wrote. Sorry, it's when you were talking about the easy mode, is like easy mode doesn't take away from our easy mode or our normal mode. But that's the whole point. Is the director says that our artwork is the experience, not the everything else is a byproduct of the environment that's the art that we are trying to show you. And if you aren't going to experience our artwork, then you are going to a painting and saying, can you tell that guy to come back and redraw some stuff over here that I like? And it's like, no, the art is this, and it is the experience. Yeah, the gameplay can be fun, but it's the feeling of being alone, the feeling of hitting your head against the wall, but feeling you have to get past. That is the Souls experience, not the game. The experience is that ramming your head into a wall going, I'm losing my sanity, but I'm getting better, and I'm going to beat this because I'm borderline masochistic.
So I'm going to take like 30 seconds to address something that I never really thought about until just now, just to suck Dark Souls' dick a little bit.
Okay.
I feel like it sounds like my complaint is that they did too good a job.
Yeah, no.
Look at them up here making beautiful and a beautiful and interesting world that I'd love to explore more, but all this goddamn fun gameplay is getting in my way. Fuck them. They shouldn't have put all that other stuff in here. What dickheads?
Kinda, yeah.
It's not fun gameplay. They put all this boring gameplay in, but I'm coming in here for this death and misery. It's the reason, like Dark Souls 3 and Dark Souls 2 I don't love as much, because the environments are completely different from Demon and Dark Souls. Bloodborne kind of follows it, but both of those games are about making the gameplay more fun and interactive, and you're flying around the stage, and it's like, yeah, no, I guess that's fun, but I don't feel afraid. It's like I'm essentially supposed to be playing a horror game, but I got Resident Evil 4. Yeah, I'm having fun. But
also, thank you very much for acknowledging that Dark Souls is a horror game, because I feel like no one has ever said that, and I'm quietly thinking I'm not gonna get good, son, so I can't really say that.
See, here's the thing: it used to be a horror game. Like
it became Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, Dark Souls 1 is definitely more of a horror game, but 2 and 3, I'm with Anthony on that. Demon Souls for sure is a horror game. That one prison level. Like, my first time ever, that shit is legitimately
Enemies were terrifying. Every enemy was a gigantic boss in your eyes, because they could just fuck you.
But not even just the difficulty of the bosses, or not the enemies. I mean, yes, that's obvious, but that's to be expected. Well, I guess at the time when that game came out, it wasn't to be expected, because it was like the first of its time. But like the atmosphere of that game, the like, it was, oh my god, like when you're walking around in that the prison is the first one to come to my mind, but that's the scariest level up front. There's other levels too. The dragon
carrying around things in it, like dead bodies in his mouth. And
but like I'm talking about
he actually flies over the bridge and kills you. You're like, oh my god.
But that becomes a staple later on. But I'm talking about I'm talking about in terms of level design and like atmosphere all around. Hold on, my bad, Sid. Give me a second. But in Demon Souls 1, you had the prison level, but you first come in here, it's dark, you see like dead bodies all over the place, and like in the background you see like these lights and they're moving, but like you can't tell if someone's holding it, and then like if there is a person holding it, what that person, you can't even tell what they look like, but you hear this bell ringing, and out of like in the background you just hear this bell ringing and people walking in the background and moaning and all this shit. You just walk around this prison, there's narrow hallways, you can't jump over the railing and everything. It's like, okay, so you get just stuck and like this kind of linear path forward, and you just darkness and evil like all around you, and the Cthulhu monster priests just grab you at their face and like spike you, and it's terrifying. It's legitimately scary to move forward, but you have no other option but to move forward. And then you play like Demon Souls 2 and Dark Souls 2.
Bloodborne.
Bloodborne, yeah, that's a good example. That's more of an action game. It's just like a Victorian setting, but you know, you got these werewolf monsters, and they're all coming at you at one time, and it's a different type of thing.
It's environment, but they give you too much resources. You have infinite dodge. You just press it, and you're like completely invincible. It's what they did to Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 was still scary, but they give you so much at your fingertips that it became less and less scary.
I'm not sure if that's necessarily a bad thing, mostly because I'm thinking about Resident Evil 7, that, you know, where, you know, you kind of still do have all those options, but it's still like, well, I guess I feel like I'm straw manning, so I'm going to stop there, because
no, go ahead. No reason, I don't know where you're going. Where are you going with that?
Oh, I was just saying word because I haven't said anything in a while, and I wanted to bring up Fire Emblem for being the bad future that we're talking about, where Dark Souls just goes down the fucking shitter because they make it too easy. That's Fire Emblem. That's a bad ending.
I don't get that reference, but Anthony totally does. So.
Oh, okay. I do. Okay. So in summary, so Fire Emblem, all the earlier games were all pretty hard. Like the GBA ones, by a fair margin, were significantly easier than previous ones, but they were still pretty hard. Like, and you know, even though it's easier and the die rolls are in your favor, if one of your dudes dies, which can easily happen, they're just fucking dead. Like when the credits roll and you see where all your characters are now, it says, "Oh, and James died at Battle of blah 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 blah." Then for the DS ones, they said, "Okay, fuck it. We're going to put in everything anyone has ever wanted because, you know, this might be the last Fire Emblem game." And one of those things was having an option for an easy mode and taking out permadeath, and it basically made most Fire Emblem games not very good because they're trying to appeal to everyone,
but
even like
to everyone though. That's the problem.
Yeah, and like by everyone,
is everybody. It became a juggernaut at Nintendo. Fire Emblem is a juggernaut now.
Is it a juggernaut?
It's
a heavy hitter,
like,
but it is a
now.
juggernaut
like,
though.
No, it's a juggernaut.
First, at first it was sort of like one of their B team things, like F-Zero or Star Fox. Then Fire Emblem Awakening happened, and that game had something for everyone. And everyone enjoyed it, and they started, pumping out Fire Emblem games every year like it's Assassin's Creed. And and the thing that kind of annoys me isn't that it's not just
but hear me out.
All the casuals are getting in.
Hear me out. Hold on. Hear me out.
Sure.
Because I'm still stuck on this juggernaut thing. Because I don't think it's a juggernaut. Like, okay,
Bobby,
we got
how come they're coming out every year?
Like Mario, Juggernaut, Zelda, Juggernaut, Pokemon, Juggernaut, Kirby,
Bobby,
maybe a Juggernaut.
How come they're coming out every year?
Here. Just how much do you think Fire Emblem Awakening or Fates sold?
Fates?
Because that's where you're not thinking it's a juggernaut.
Hold on,
like Bobby, they literally with a straight face.
Like a couple 100,000.
Bobby, I cannot stress enough. Before you go, Anthony, they sold with a straight face in the year of our Lord 2017, maybe. A red, blue, and yellow version of a video game and thought it was just lit. That costs a lot of money, and they wouldn't have did it if they didn't think a shit ton of people would play it, because everyone has a DS.
Or at least had a DS. But go ahead.
As of December 2014, Fire Emblem Awakening sold 1.9 million copies, making it the biggest Fire Emblem in the West. That's like 2 million games for Fire Emblem that came out of nowhere.
Well, I'm sorry. How many?
2 million. 1.9.
1.9. Okay. All right.
And then Fates came out where they were like, "Oh, let's make 3 versions of it. Let's turn this shit into Pokemon, where we sell 3 different copies of the same game with slight different story elements." And how much did this one sell?
Well, I guess with Fates, I would actually argue Fates were 3 different games, but in the same way Zelda Oracle of Seasons and Ages are, but that's neither here nor there. It's still fucking Pokemon.
Okay, all right. Well, I guess it's better than I thought it was. My bad.
Yeah.
But yeah,
a game that got horrible releases as of the combined totals of Fate, which was 3 different copies of 3 different games. I say 3 copies of the same game essentially, just different art, but 1.9 million as well. And as of March 2017, the game's physical and download sales across both copies have come to 1.6 million. How did it go down? I'm confused. The physicals was 1.8 million, and then that was of 2016, and then 2017 sold another 1.6 million.
Okay, all right, that's all physical. So they didn't even touch
physical. I don't know. It's saying physical and downloads were 1.6 million for the 2017, but for just 2016, it was physical copies only were sold at 1.8 million. So it's about 3 million copies altogether as well. But that's 3 different games all released roughly on the same day.
My bad. Hold on, Anthony. What happened? No. Well, yes, now. Hey. All right.
But yeah, that's also why Super Smash Brothers added Smash characters to it every game.
17 different Marths.
They have Marth, Lucina. Like, they have more Fire Emblem characters in Smash than they have Pokemon characters.
Yeah, so the point is Fire Emblem is a pretty big one. And, again, they're trying to put something in for everyone, which definitely started diluting things. And not just because, the casuals are coming in, but also because they're putting everything from every previous Fire Emblem. So now it's like, well, nothing's really special because everything is here. Yeah, like, if every single Zelda game had mass transformations and going back in time and in, like, 2 worlds, like, that was, and weapon durability, and, like, literally every single game, then, you just go, yep, that sure is another Zelda.
Yeah, that's 300 characters in my Fire Emblem game, where death could be permanent, but I have 300. So even with that, ridiculous. There's no character special anymore. So whenever a character's getting put in, it's because of the MU, the make your own character.
Uh-huh.
So they're the ones getting in Smash because no other character's special anymore. And then they're already like the new Fire Emblem's coming out in a few months, and everybody's like, please, not in Smash. They all look cool. We want them, but you don't need another sword character. You have
as someone who's been playing Fire Emblem since like the day that stuff came out in the States.
Yeah.
Oh man, to think there would come a day where I would go, okay, let's take a little break from those Fire Emblem games for a little bit.
It's funny is I took a break until 2 weeks ago. I just started playing Fire Emblem again. I played the Wii one.
Radiant?
Yeah, Radiant Dawn. Yeah.
Fun fact: those two with Ike are like weirdly expensive now.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's why I emulated it, because I don't have my physical copy anymore.
Yeah, what happened to it? I remember you had them.
I don't know what happened to any of my Wii games. I think my parents sold them probably.
Well, that shit happens.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah, shit. I don't really care. I don't have a Wii anymore anyway, so because they sold that too.
All right, moving away from that depressing as my games don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
They're making a Dragon Quest movie.
Why?
What about that?
Oh yeah. Man, it looks great. So it's an adaptation of Dragon Quest IV, which is probably one of the better ones, and it's like a CGI anime movie, but the CGI looks closer to like How to Train Your Dragon, but like they dead ass look like Dragon Quest characters, and it looks really good.
Yeah, no, that sounds awesome.
Who would have thought they were going to make a? Oh, sure.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Who would have thought they would make like a video game animated movie that actually looks like it gives a fuck about the source material?
It sounds crazy. But Dragon Quest is as big, if not bigger, than Final Fantasy in Japan.
Yeah, I was going to say this. It's about as big as Final Fantasy.
Well, I almost say bigger because the slimes sell about as much as Moogles and Pikachu. The slime monster.
Mm-hmm.
So the slime is up there with like Monster Hunter, but as a game, I don't know how much it's regarded as being close to Final Fantasy. But I know it's merchandise.
To my understanding, it's about the same, but in a weird way where Dragon Quest is a very consistent seller, where you'd never really hear breaking records of people watch The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Because the people that are watching The Simpsons are watching The Simpsons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll give you that.
And I am extremely excited to see the adaptation of this game because, oh man, they are straight up going to make a 2-hour movie based on an NES game, and that's dope.
So, all right. So I didn't know anything about this at all. Again, this is where the hell am I? I just have not been on the internet at all. So, tell me more about this, or at least send me a link or something so I can look this up.
Oh, sure. I would have sent you the video to play on the screen, but I figured Sony is gonna show up to our houses and blast our fucking brains out. So.
At least send it to me, and I'll play a little bit of it. But
we can show that link conveniently in the Kotaku article. Just have that on loop so people can see how it looks like How to Train Your Dragon. They even got the monsters that you would not think they would put in the game, like robots.
Yeah. Oh, robots are super big. They've been in every.
Oh well, I mean, I know they're in every Dragon Quest game, but you would think oh well, we're making the movie. It looked kind of weird if we just had robots in this fantasy world. And they're nah, let's put the robots then.
Oh,
and I'm very happy that it does
is that
not
live
just
action?
look.
That doesn't
no, that's all CG.
Okay, yeah, that's really good. That's really good.
No, it looks. I'm about to send that shit to Dis right now.
They even do some of the sort of movements that they do in the game, and that's real fun.
I saw the slash. I actually almost remember the name of that slash.
I think it's called the Omni Slash.
I wanted to say Omni, but I'm like,
that's Final Fantasy, isn't it? The Omni Slash.
Shit, then it's called something else. Well, damn, I don't remember what it's called. It's probably something stupid because all modern Dragon Quest games for the English version have weird onomatopoeia names to them.
Yeah, they have some Dragon Quest names are some of the most unique.
Oh yeah, at first I hated it, but now I appreciate the charm because Dragon Quest games tend to be very basic. So like all the spell names are stuff like sizz, sizzle, like crack for the ice spell and crackle, etc., and like whoosh for the wind spell. It's all weird, especially because in all the English versions they all have like very thick European accents. But like different villages will have like entirely different accents. Like one guy just might be like just straight up Cockney or like just some deep Irish or something.
You say Cockney?
Cockney.
What the hell is Cockney?
Oh wow, Dragon Quest is.
Hold on. Say that whole part again, Ant. The audio fucked up.
Yeah, I cut it. I said the director of Dragon Quest X is leaving Square Enix.
Oh, why? What happened here?
I don't know. Just the article popped up as I was looking up Dragon Quest stuff.
Speaking of something that made me laugh, and I feel like in 10 years might not make me laugh as hard. Okay. So a guy got really fucking mad at Square Enix because he like bought a $2,000 game item or something and he didn't get it. So he sent like a threatening letter to their headquarters, like, I'm fucking Enix. He got arrested.
Wow.
The audio just kicked out again. I don't know what the hell. Discord is acting up now. Like everything is acting up all at once.
Oh yeah, you're getting it now?
Yeah. Well, you're coming in and out.
What part did you not hear?
The ending, something about Square Enix, and then.
Oh, okay, yeah. So a dude like bought an item from like Square Enix. Like I don't know if it was an in-game item or something, but like I guess he didn't get it, and he like wrote a threatening letter to their headquarters, like, "All right, Square Enix staff, I'm fucking coming for you tomorrow. You better purify your heads, because I'm gonna cut them off," or something like that. And then he got arrested. I guess he spent like $2,000 on some like in-game item stuff.
So that's what he was renting. I mean, he still sent like a fucking death.
What a fucking idiot!
Yeah, but that's his fault. Shit, I don't even know how to say what to say to that.
Like, what must have? Listen, I have like friends in a life, right? Even though. Bobby, don't tell them that I'm lying about that.
Okay. He's lying about that.
God damn. So anyway, what I definitely wouldn't do is A, spend $2,000 on like, I don't know, some fucking in-app purchases or something, and B, get so mad when I don't get them, I write like a threatening letter like, "I'm coming for you. You better get ready, cause it's happening." What a fucking idiot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's I still don't know, like how much that's gonna hold up in court. Like I was talking to, unless he put somebody's name, it's like, yeah, you definitely.
I mean, he did say like Square Enix staff.
Okay, then you might be a little fucked.
Hold on. We're gonna have to cancel the live part of this because the internet quality is terrible. It's really bad right now. So we're going to continue the episode, but I'm going to, from here on out, I'm just going to record, and then I'm going to upload the other half of this episode. So this is part 1 of episode 3. Part 2 will be later on. I'll probably upload it tomorrow. So I'm about to end the live stream now, but we're going to continue on with the video. So
if anyone is too lazy to click on part 2, go like all the things in the description that's probably there now.
There's literally no one watching. The quality is so bad that no one. Every time someone jumps in the video, they just jump right back out. It's terrible.
Okay, good.
It's really, really bad. All right, so for video's sake, please hit the like, comment, subscribe, video, blah, 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 blah. Hey, I love you all. And, yeah, this is my channel. Sid, what's your Twitter handle?
I feel like we should really practice this.
I really should. To be honest, I really should, but I
we should have a slide for this when we're ready to start shilling.
You know what? You're right. The next episode is going to be better. The next one will be. Actually, you know what? The second half of this video, when I actually do the promotion, it will be better. But in this one, is terrible because I haven't had that time to practice or anything like that. So, yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. If you're watching this, you're probably not watching this, but thank you if you're watching this. And I have been your host, Mr. B.R. Jones. City Gas has been my co-host. Say bye, Sid. From the
Goodbye.
Yes, from the basement. Now shut up and go back to doing my laundry. And the
Fair
Chrono,
enough.
where can we find you at if anyone's looking for you or want to hear more from you?
Discord.
Discord, cool.
Oh shit, we have a Discord. Everybody hop on our Discord. That's there.
Yes, and for our Discord, if you want to be like the first to find out about our videos or anything like that, you want to post your own videos, link is in the description down below for the open invitation for the Discord. It's still relatively small and like kind of bland, building it slowly but surely. So yeah, that's it. Got that roadmap. Got that roadmap. But thank you for listening and peace.
We'll see you in 5 minutes.
We'll see you in 5 minutes if you're watching this on YouTube recorded.
I will be right back.
All right, peace.